Hello, my name is Craig Otto. I'm a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt. Today, we're going to talk about facilitating a team, and more specifically, we're going to talk about having a team agenda and what are the core components of that agenda. Here we can see some of the components of the team agenda. Usually, I tend to try to start with recognition. That's both individual recognition and team recognition. The next thing that I focus on is the scorecard for the team, which we can typically share information with the scorecard, talk about general things that are going on with the business and how that relates to the impact of the team's scorecard and the general review of the scorecard itself. The next thing that is important is talking about flow stoppers. So all teams have a goal of adding value in some manner. And flow is the important thing when you're talking about adding value. Flow stoppers are the things that cause you to not be able to flow. So things like waste and quality issues and delivery issues. And so typically it's important for a team to focus on some of those key flow stoppers and make a point to discuss it as a group and talk about what are opportunities to make things better, which leads into the next part of the team agenda, which is your plans. Now, you can have an action plan that is more specific to daily improvement and working on individual things that will help drive just do it type of changes, small incremental Kaizen improvements, small change. Then there's also project improvement plans where you start to scope things maybe a little bit bigger to make a larger impact that covers maybe more than just your team. Maybe it's a cross-functional effort, a cross-departmental effort. Those things are also important to track for your team and to work on. And last but not least, it's important to report out. What did you learn from everything that you're doing? Share those lessons learned and then steal shamelessly. And number two, there is success. Make sure you share success and point out what are all the good things that are going on. Many times the teams will not hear the good things. The teams will hear the bad things. It's just the way that it works. Bad news travels fast, unfortunately. Good news needs to be reiterated over and over communicated. So those are the five main components of an agenda. It is possible to have other topics there. It's not limited to those five things, but I think those things are a bare minimum. Now I want to talk about the behavioral outcomes that we want from the agenda. So on the left side there, you can see I laid out the tasks of the teams and their agenda. Now let's talk about what does that do for you. So by focusing on recognition first, and again, this is where order does matter, you can see that starts the team out with a positive behavior, right? You focus on the positive things. Here's what this individual did to help improve the team. Here's what this team did to be recognized for the good things that we're doing. The next thing, scorecard review. That gets into reminding people of their mission, letting them know if they're winning or losing, and then sharing information to ensure that the team stays aligned with the organizational goals and mission. The flow stoppers, again, that's where you focus on things like safety issues, quality defects, waste that hurts your delivery, waste that hurts your cost, and making sure that you are truly identifying waste within your processes. And then we want to talk about what do we do with those issues, those wastes that you've identified? How do we eliminate it? What are the flow improvements that we can make? What are the action plan items, the just do it's, the little things that we can do to eliminate waste and make things better? And then the bigger things, getting into planning, projects. How do we make things better from a larger scale? How do we interact with other departments and reduce wastes? And last but not least, the reporting aspect of it. Share the lessons learned. Steal shamelessly. Apply the lessons learned across the value stream. And sell yourself. Sell the success and share that success with others. It kind of ends. So you started with that positive vibe with recognition, and now we end with that positive vibe with reporting. Now, I would also like to point out the behavioral principles that are driven from this agenda. So again, everything here has a purpose. It's not just there because we made it up, or it's not there in a random order. It's all by design. It's all in order. Order matters. So the first, recognition, ties to the principle of respecting every individual. That's really where people feel respected, appreciated, because you are letting them know that we recognize their contribution and value to our business. The scorecard review, that reminds us of our constancy of purpose. It lets us know we exist for a reason, and how are we doing to that purpose, to that reason of existing. That's what that scorecard review allows us to do. That's the principle behind it. Flow stopper review, that gets into humility and seeking perfection, realizing we're not where we want to be yet, and we know that we have opportunity to improve, and it's about understanding what that opportunity is. And then the next one, flowing value. That's what taking action does. That's what the projects do. It eliminates waste. It creates flow, which ultimately leads to value. Super important principle. And last but not least, reporting. Sharing those successes drives to the principle of belief. When people believe in themselves and in their teams, they're able to achieve so much more because of synergy. The synergy becomes overwhelmingly powerful when the team believes in their mission and believes in each other and what they're doing. And that's really the principle of the reporting aspect of the agenda. And that is everything I wanted to share today about a team agenda. That's really the highlights, but it is super important that you really think about when you're designing your teams, make sure you start with the team charter. And then from there, with the team agenda, really give thought to what are the behaviors that the team agenda is driving towards? What are the principles that the team is being instilled with through that agenda? It's all through design. And make sure you give it plenty of thought as you design your team's agenda. Thank you.